A very pleasant morning to you. This is the National Religious Partnership Media and Radio, and from us here, we say compliments of the season to you, and hope and trust that as you wake up on a day like this, that indeed you are giving God thanks for a new day. The writer says that this is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. It's just about 6:32, 28 minutes now, going up to the hour of 6 o'clock. And we're going to be bringing you news, yes, on this here Christmas morning. Stay tuned with us as we do that for you right here on this station. It is a wonderful day, and we are grateful that indeed you are here with us and that you're going to be spending some time with us on this platform. So, uh, let us do what needs to be done this morning. Of course, we are grateful always for your support, and we know that you will definitely be there for us as well. So let's go to the newscast as we broadcast to you on this Christmas Day. Good morning and welcome to our platforms, nrpmediaja.com, also Facebook and YouTube at NRP Media JA. It's Monday, December 25, 2023. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of a Day newscast on this Christmas Day. Here are the headlines. Governor General, Prime Minister, and the leader of opposition speak to seeing opportunities at Christmas, speaks to the violence plaguing the nation and the hope which could emerge with a united nation. JTA President also weighing in on this Christmas Day, urging members to take time to self-care. One firearm was seized by an off-duty policeman in Grange Hill, Westmoreland on Sunday, December 24. And in news overseas, 68 more people, including a baby, killed as the war rages on in Israel in the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza. The news of this morning comes to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
And now for the details of our news on this Christmas Day. Welcome if you're just joining us. WPM Waste Management Limited has ramped up its garbage and collection in the western parishes to deal with the increased volume generated during the Christmas season. The Western Regional arm of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, WPM Waste Management Limited, has direct responsibility for the collection and disposal of solid waste within the parishes of Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. Regional Operations Manager Edward Muir told JIS News that the agency's teams stepped up their collection of domestic, commercial, and bulky waste over the recent weeks throughout the region. This, he says, is in response to extra waste that is usually generated due to the increase in commercial and social activities. According to Mr. Muir, this Christmas season, there has been a significant increase in the amount of waste coming to the garbage disposal facility in retirement, adding that this is partly due to collections being spearheaded by members of parliament as part of the country's response to the dengue outbreak. Mr. Muir says that as an agency, bulky waste has been removed, clearing illegal mini dumps and carrying out this desilting of gullies and drains done, and residents have been putting out more domestically generated garbage separate and apart from their bulky waste. In response, Mr. Muir disclosed that WPM has put the necessary measures in place to accommodate an efficient collection. 21-year-old L.J. Smith of Redbury District, Porus, Manchester, was charged with shop breaking and larceny lasting from the dwelling following an incident in Watermount District, Porus, in the parish on Wednesday, December 20. Reports from the Porus police are that about 2 p.m., a man left his grocery shop keys and his cellular phone on his bed and went to the back of his house. Upon his return to the room, he noticed that the shop keys and his cellular phone were missing. The following day, the man was informed that Smith was using the keys to enter his shop unauthorized. He reported the matter to the police, and Smith was apprehended and searched. During the search, the man's shop keys were found in Smith's possession. Following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney, Smith was charged. However, his court date has not been yet finalized. And one firearm was seized by an off-duty policeman in Delhi Grange Hill in Westmoreland on Sunday, December 24. Reports from the Grange Hill police are that about 1:30 a.m., the lawman was in the area when two men were seen, one of whom had a bag. The actions of the men aroused the suspicion of the police, and the police went to investigate. While the policeman was in the process of accosting the men, one of the men escaped while the other was caught and searched. During the search, one 9mm Glock P8 pistol, that should be P80 pistol, was found in his possession. He was taken into custody. However, his identity is being withheld pending further investigations. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. And just to remind you that we'll not be having any sports in the package this morning. The time right here now on NRP Media is now 6:39. Continuing the Christmas Day news package. The Governor General of Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen, has implored all Jamaicans to look beyond the festivities and see the opportunities to show love and kindness to those around us. In his Christmas message, the Governor General reminded that as a nation, we can reach out in tangible ways to those in need, offer a helping hand to those struggling, and visit and encourage those who are alone. Let's hear now from the GG. All right, and we have one little difficulty there with the Governor General's input. Let's try one more time to bring that to you. All right, and we do apologize for the timing of the insert from the Governor General. I think we can try another means and bring that to you right here as we continue inside of the newscast this year morning. Let's go to the GG from a different playing source.
Our actions, no matter how small, can make a significant difference in someone's life. It is important that we show goodness during Christmas, but it should not be confined only to this season. It should be a guiding light throughout the year. Let us carry the spirit of Christmas into each day, making compassion, generosity, and kindness our constant companions. Even in these challenging times, we can make the spirit of Christmas a beacon of hope and a reminder of the resilience and strength that lie within each one of us.
That was the Governor General, Sir Patrick Allen, and we once again apologize for the slow pace at which the audio came to your ear. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says that the high levels of frustration and anger in the social interactions among the nation's people, which has been manifesting itself in violence, is reducing all Jamaicans' quality or reducing the quality of life of all Jamaicans.
Our healthcare workers, our teachers, police officers, soldiers. You hardly hear the good old Jamaican courtesy of howdy and thank you. Looking out for our neighbors and being parents for all the children in our community is no longer a feature of Jamaican civility. We intend to mobilize more resources around social and human services, more counselors in our schools and communities, more mental health support, greater support for families and family life, more engagement of our youth, a more wholesome public communication, and safer public spaces.
And the Prime Minister added that government intends to mobilize more resources around social and human services. He said over the last 2 terms, his government has focused on setting the economic engine on the right path to deliver the material variable in the equation of our prosperity. Furthermore, leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, in his Christmas message says, during this season, the nation should use the time to guide us towards a future where unity triumphs over division and where collective efforts propel Jamaica to become a better, more just, and caring society. He also urged for more gratitude to be shown to those who have tirelessly served the Jamaican family throughout the year.
Our healthcare workers, our teachers, police officers, soldiers and firefighters, indeed, all those who work for the well-being of our society, they deserve our heartfelt appreciation. Their dedication and sacrifice must never be taken for granted. I wish my entire Jamaican family a Christmas filled with love, joy, and peace. As we cherish these moments spent with loved ones, let us draw inspiration from the birth of Jesus Christ to face the future with renewed hope and optimism.
That was leader of the opposition, Mark Golding. And finally this morning, JTA President Leighton Johnson, in his Christmas Day message, urged teachers to use the time out of the classroom to rejuvenate for the year ahead.
And let us also extend a helping hand to those who are less fortunate. Our profession is rooted in empathy and compassion, and by giving back to our communities, we can make a real difference in the lives of others. During this holiday season, let us not forget to take care of ourselves as well. Teaching is a demanding profession, and we often put the needs of our students before our own. I encourage each of you to take some time for self-care and rest, to rejuvenate your spirits and recharge for the year ahead.
That was JTA President Leighton Johnson. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com. That's nationalreligiousmediaja@gmail.com, or call the number 876-336-99 28. That's the local news. Stand by now for the latest international news courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Tommy McNeil. At least another 68 people have died, and including a baby killed in Gaza. The latest bloodshed comes in a weekend that's marked some of the war's deadliest airstrikes. Health Ministry spokesman says the toll was likely to rise after the strike on a refugee camp. An AP reporter on the scene watched bodies and wounded being carried into a nearby hospital. Meanwhile, the number of Israeli soldiers killed in combat over the weekend rose to 15. As Christmas Eve fell, smoke rose over the besieged territory, while in the West Bank, Bethlehem was hushed. Its holiday celebrations called off. With support for Ukraine slipping in Congress, the United States is once again struggling to assert its role in the world. Congress is not expected to return for 2 weeks, while continued aid for Ukraine has nearly been exhausted. Still, congressional leaders are trying to rally members to address global challenges they say are among the most difficult in decades. In one impassioned plea, Senator Michael Bennet called on senators to see the conflict as a defining clash against democracy. He implored them to consider what it means for Ukrainians to fight of that freezing front line and not know whether we're going to come through with ammunition. Pope Francis, in a Christmas Eve homily, said that the clash of arms, even today, prevents Jesus from finding room in the world. He recalled Jesus' birth in a stable in Bethlehem, saying, "Our hearts are in Bethlehem, where the Prince of Peace is once more rejected by the futile logic of war." The pontiff presided over the evening mass attended by about 6,500 faithful who took their place amid the splendor of St. Peter's Basilica. This is VOA News. A charter plane sequestered in France while carrying 303 Indians to Nicaragua has been authorized to leave the airport where it has been grounded for human trafficking investigation. A lawyer for the airline says the plane would take many of the stranded passengers back to India on Monday. Passengers have been held at Paris airport since Thursday after a dramatic police operation prompted by a tip about possible human trafficking. According to a statement from the prefecture, the seizure order for the airliner was lifted Sunday morning, and the decision makes it possible to contemplate the passengers in the waiting area being rerouted. Iran state media says Tehran has summoned Russia's charge d'affaires after Moscow and Arab countries released a joint statement earlier in the week challenging Iran's claim to disputed islands in the Persian Gulf. Iran's official IRNA news agency said Sunday that a Russian envoy was summoned the day before and handed a note to deliver to Moscow in which Tehran protested a statement. The 6th Arab-Russian Cooperation Forum issued in Morocco called for a peaceful solution to resolve the conflict between Iran and the United Arab Emirates over the islands. The diplomatic spat is a rare occurrence between the two countries that have deepened their ties since Moscow invaded Ukraine, with Iran supplying Russia with killer drones. North American military assets are keeping a sharp eye on Santa's travels. The North American Aerospace Defense Command is tracking his sleigh's global movements as Christmas Day approaches from stop to stop. NORAD is a command that's responsible for protecting U.S. and Canadian airspace. But it has a jolly side, too. It has launched its NORADSanta.org website, social media sites, and mobile app loaded with games, movies, books, and music. By late Christmas Eve in Thailand, late morning Sunday in the eastern U.S., a tracker reported that Santa was en route to Burma and Tibet from Bangkok and had delivered nearly 2 billion gifts by then. NORAD's findings cannot be independently verified, of course. London police say that they have arrested a second man in the alleged theft of Banksy artwork of a stop sign decorated with military drones. Metropolitan Police said Sunday that a man in his 40s was in custody on suspicion of theft and criminal damage. Sign was taken from a street corner in South London less than an hour after the elusive street artist posted a photo of it on Friday. Video of the incident showed a man with bolt cutters removing the sign while a second man steadied the bike he stood on. Suspect in his 20s was released on bail after his arrest on Saturday. I'm Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
Thank you so much for listening there to the latest from the Voice of America as we bring our newscast closer to the end of this morning. And we want to invite you to join us again during the course of today when we'll have for you more from the VOA. Let's now give you the latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. And the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there is a significant feature of a ridge across Jamaica. The ridge is expected to remain across the island for another few days. In the 24-hour forecast, Christmas morning, which is this morning, mainly sunny. This afternoon, which is Christmas afternoon, partly cloudy. Christmas night, which is tonight, becoming fair. In the 3-day forecast, starting tomorrow, that's Boxing Day, Wednesday, and Thursday, mainly sunny in the morning, partly cloudy in the afternoon. In terms of other current regional weather features at this time, there is a cold front across the Gulf of Mexico. So you heard it right here on NRP Radio. I just want to let you know that in terms of the maximum temperature expected for Kingston today, 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. That concludes our report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service of Jamaica. And with that, we have come to the end of our news presentation this morning. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. Governor General, Prime Minister, and leader of the opposition speak to seeing opportunities at Christmas. The violence plaguing the nation and the hope which could emerge with a united nation. JTA President calls on teachers to take time out to self-care. One firearm was seized by an off-duty policeman in Grange Hill, Westmoreland on Sunday. And in news overseas, 68 more people, including a baby, killed as the war rages on in the Israel-Hamas conflict in Gaza. The news of this morning comes to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. There are no boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
That's our full package of information in terms of local and international news. Of course, you also had the weather report and forecast in the package this morning. We urge you to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Christmas Day News Roundup. And remember we invite your feedback to this newscast via WhatsApp. You can leave us some responses at 876-336-9928. That's 876-336-9928. You can also leave us a comment or so on the platforms that you're listening or watching on at this time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at NRP Media JA and click on the notification bell. The same applies to our Facebook pages at NRP Media JA and under the name LEAON Nash. Our radar platform, you should know, at nrpmediaja.com, always operating 24 hours per day, 365 days per year for your listening pleasure. We encourage you to join this growing medium, feel fulfilled and informed. I am Leon Nash for NRP News and wishing for you a good rest of your Christmas morning. Merry Christmas, everybody, and do have for yourselves a wonderful rest of your day. It is now 3 minutes going up to the hour of 7 o'clock. Just reminding you that coming up at 7 o'clock, we've got the program that's Let the Word Speak with Reverend Paul Blair. And we want to ask or remind you or inform you, in another sense, that we're going to be closing the Facebook and YouTube channel at this time. And we're going to be asking you to go over to our radio platform at nrpmediaja.com. That's nrpmediaja.com. And you'll hear the program Let the Word Speak. Radio is operating 24 hours per day. So please join us on that side. So with